What's going on? We back. Before we get into it, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share the videos. So it seems the fight that people have been talking about in the last couple of days is Teofimo Lopez. After he's coming off his, victorious win over Lomachenko and against Devin Haney. People are saying that, Teo is a franchise champion, but he's not really truly undisputed, and that he needs to fight Devin Haney in order to become, quote, undisputed. So then the question is, will this fight happen next? Because it seems as if Teofimo is down to do the fight. I remember when they were negotiating between the fight between him and Lomachenko, and Lomachenko's having cold feet, and Lomachenko, I guess, didn't really, quote, want to do the fight. And negotiations got to the point where Teofimo was like, F it. I want, you know what I'm saying? Had his people contact Devin Haney's team to see if a fight could be set up. And during those negotiations, I guess as soon as they started talking, Eddie Hearn was like, "Oh, let's set up a press conference, so we can, talk about, the fight and this and that." And he was like, "Nah, f all that. I'm not trying to do all that corny stuff. Negotiate. You know what I'm saying? Let's get this fight done. You know what I'm saying? Let's negotiate, terms that we're both okay with, and let's just get this fight done so we can both fight, And but when that started happening, I guess that's when Lomachenko's like, okay, I'll fight, for whatever reason, Bobby Arum got it done. Like, I guess he was like, yo, you got to fight this dude. So, and he ended up getting the fight that he wanted against Lomachenko for multiple belts, and so now we're in the situation where, he's a big man on campus. They did like almost 3 million views, 2.9. I thought they'd do around maybe 1 point something, 2, but they did almost 3 million. So they did an incredible amount of views. They did their thing with that. And Teofimo Lopez is a star right now. He's a bona fide star. I believe the only person that's bigger than him right now is Tank Davis. Bill Haney, I believe after the fight, he made a comment saying, "Oh, even with everything that they did, he's still not as big of a star as Tank Davis and Teofimo Lopez. I mean, and between Tank Davis and Devin Haney, he's still not as big a star as Tank Davis and Devin Haney, and that's 100% disagree with that. I'll do a video on that, but 100% disagree. Right now, the biggest stars, 140 and under, is Teofimo Lopez and Javante Tank Davis. Period. And Javante Tank Davis is king. He's on a. When you talk about popularity wise, he's on a different stratosphere than the rest of these guys. But so we got these two guys, and the question is, will this fight happen? Can this fight happen? I mean, in general, I guess you could say yes, but is it going to happen? Absolutely not. And y'all know me, I stay with reality, and how people move and how they do their stuff. I don't get involved in all the, oh, this guy should fight this guy and this and that, and there's no reason, and this guy's ducking this person, that guy's ducking that person. I don't necessarily go with that. I look at the person's moves and how they move, and I also look at how their promoters move. How the people that they're signed to move. So when it comes to somebody like a Teofimo Lopez, they're gonna tell him, hell no, you're not fighting Devin Haney. Because why are they gonna have him fight a risky fight with Devin Haney when they can have him fight a risky fight in house? That's part of why they wanted him to fight Lomachenko instead of Devin Haney. And he was victorious in this fight. Now, why would you have him fight this dude that fights in this closed network app? Why are you going to have him fight him that's signed to somebody else when you can have him move up to 140 pounds and fight for undisputed? Because a lot of people have been thinking that the winner of Ramirez and Taylor, if they even fight each other, that they're going to end up going and fighting Terrence Crawford. But I don't think that's the case. The star right now is Teofimo. The person that they're going to want to push and turn into a megastar is going to be Teofimo. And he's 23 years old. Terrence Crawford's 33 going on 34. So why would you feed them to them? And when you have a Teofimo versus either one of these guys, people are going to see it as a big fight. They're going to see it as a fight that Teofimo can lose. And he's moving up in weight. So it's going to be a big fight, whether it be on regular television. If it's for undisputed, it might be a fight they might even be able to put for pay-per-view. Especially if he fights like Ramirez beats Ramirez and he fights a Taylor, and if there's fans that are available, can be put into stands, they could fight in Texas and do some numbers right now. So It's not going to happen. Bob Arum's going to look at it and say, I can have my guys fight each other in a big bout. This guy's having issues making 135 anyway. Let him move up to 140 pounds, and let's put him into some historical ish that's really going to get the fights hyped up. You know, that's what they're going to do. When it comes to someone like a Devin Haney, he's signed to Matchroom. He's signed to Eddie Hearn. Eddie Hearn's not putting him into a risky bout like that. Eddie Hearn's whole focus is, this is my future American champion. This could be my ticket to opening up the American market. So what I'm going to do is build this guy up. And the way we're going to build him up is put the illusion that people are scared of him, that people don't want to fight him, and have him fight other people instead. But in the media, we'll put out a narrative and we'll put out a story. Okay? And we'll do everything that we can to keep people talking about him on social media, like they do with their other fighters, but don't actually put him in there with them. If these people weren't willing to put a Gary Russell Jr., someone from 126 pounds, that would have been coming all the way up to 135 pounds. If they weren't willing to set up that fight, you want me to believe that they would set up a fight against Teofimo Lopez? They're not setting up a fight against Gervonta Tank Davis. Because again, it's a risky fight. And he's not going to do that to the commodity. When Tevin Farmer had the IBF belt, he got an offer of $2 million to do a pay-per-view against Gervonta Tank Davis, and they said no. When Danny Jacobs was ordered to fight Jamal Charlo, for the right to fight, for a mandated fight to become the mandatory for the WBC, they said no. They turned that down. Okay? They turned that down. Demetrius Andres, they won't even give him fights against champions in their own freaking stable. Gennady Golovkin's with Matchroom. What the hell's his name? The 168 pounders. My mind is blank right now, completely. Billy Joe Saunders, the other dude, whatever the hell his name is. My mind is blank right now, but we're gonna keep it going. Okay? All with Matchroom. Jacobs is with Matchroom as well. He's not getting into those fights. And this is within their own network. But they're gonna let him go and fight this guy that's from Top Rank and have to possibly do it on ESPN for probably the same amount of money as he's getting right now for fighting the people that he's fighting right now. They're not gonna do it. They're gonna wait for those belts to scatter. When Teo moves it to 135 to 140, then they're gonna try to grab those belts instead. That's what they're gonna do. And then keep putting a narrative, oh, I want Tank. Oh, I want Teofimo. Oh, I want Tank. But not make any kind of real moves to maneuver themselves or position themselves to get it. And they're going to have him try to pick up belts at 135, but keep the ball rolling on social media, which, like I've said in the past before, is not going to work. These guys are going to pass them by. Teofimo has passed them by. Tank is in a whole different level right now. He's moving up, progressing. Not only that, he's about to take that Ryan Garcia, the fight that they're now trying to maneuver into. Devin Haney and them. The way they do fight that they're trying to maneuver into, that's going to be taken away from them as well. People are outmaneuvering them with everything that they're trying to do. I guess that's what's going to happen. They should have did that Gary Russell fight. Doing the Gary Russell fight, beating Gary Russell, that would have kept them on keel with everybody else. That fight would have been happening in a couple of weeks and everybody would have been clamoring and hyped up about that. People would have been hyped up about that. But they chose to do other things. Fight Gamboa. But so both camps, and I'm not talking about the fighters. I'm talking about the people that they're signed to. The people that they're connected to. Matchroom, Top Rank. I'm not even talking about the fighters. I'm talking about the handlers. This is how they do things. So these two young boys in the early 20s colliding is not something that either side would do. because they're trying to build something. You know, Top Rank, they know how to, you know, they'll be able to build them to a certain point. And the fact that Teofimo, the way he talks, his gift of gab, his father, they got a star right there. And they're going to maneuver him on their side in a space where they have control. In Matchroom, they're going to do the same thing with Devin Haney. They're going to use their way of doing things, which does not work in America, but they're going to use their blueprint anyway. And it does not involve fighting any top tier fighters at the present time. And again, I'm not talking about the fighters. I'm talking about the handlers and the way they move. You know? But we'll see what happens in the next couple of months. But so far, I've been real on point with everything I've been saying. But for now, don't forget to like, subscribe, share.